Yeah, Barbara wanted to say something, I remember.
I wanted to say that you are a Pisces.
Yes,
and you probably feel this moon very deeply. And I have my moon in Pisces, and that's actually my healing power. And it belongs also to this triangle, which we talked about last time. This magic triangle I have. Pisces moon, Jupiter, and Venus. So that's, for me, that's like painting time. That's where I always sort of, in all my life, escaped whenever there's too much noise outside. You know, then I can go deep, deep, deep. And this is how my paintings also came up. You know, this is like where you can pull things out of this creative world into reality without, you know, it's like bringing it into reality, but it's a process more to go inside. So I wonder how you are doing with your Pisces energy, Steve.
Well, I have Sun in Pisces at 29 and Mercury at 26. So it's, I guess it's combined with Chuen, it's about speaking my truth. And I came into this life with a real outward family, all promoters. And for me to get a word in edgewise was pretty difficult. So my ascending Scorpio would just send out stingers, one-liners to make my point. And it would send a shock. And then that was about it, because it seemed like it fell on deaf ears, but I was, I was connected with the ocean and with nature. And there was a lot of military and university in the family. And during the Vietnam War times, that didn't mesh. So my Mercury in Pisces speaking up, that was something that I had to work through. Yeah, I just felt there was a time where I couldn't even put two sentences together practically because I was used to the one-liners. When Sophia and I went to Toastmasters, I think it was, they were converting over to be co-ed, and I was the only male in this female group of Toastmistresses. And I learned to get up at the podium and speak, and I found it was a very nurturing and gentle environment to learn that, as opposed to the male-dominated Toastmasters, which was pretty, I don't know, alpha male, indirect. We're gonna do business here, and yeah. So it was really a nurturing way to learn to public speak, and then I went into facilitator and really enjoyed being up on the stage and presenting. And so that was my Pisces Mercury really moving through my life experience. And now there's sometimes I just don't know when to be quiet.
So as I noted in my invitation to attend this session, I indicated that I'd done another keynote. I hadn't intended to do it about the material that I'll be sharing with you, but then that was because of a synchronicity that came up, and that kind of redirected my research. And the word Dreamspell comes up, and I thought, oh, I think Quentin might show up with this one. And here he is. Here you are. Welcome. As you'll see from my presentation, the work that Arguelles did with the Mayan calendar and the work that I've done with the Mayan calendar have kind of run parallel to each other for quite some time now. And so what I've ended up doing here is creating an overview of kind of the evolution of the Dreamspell, which is what he developed after Harmonic Convergence, and the lightning path. And so that, you know, down the line, when somebody says, oh, yeah, you're into the Mayan calendar, you know, with the Dreamspell and so on, well, you'll know what they're talking about. And who knows, you might be drawn into the Dreamspell world. There's lots going on, and I'm sure Quentin could fill us in on that at some point too. And, in fact, maybe you'd like to give a presentation next week or next month or whatever. You're always welcome to do that, Quentin.
I would love to.
Yeah.
And building off of synchronicities, I wanted to give a little highlight about this beautiful 4 ebb moon that we're coming into. And it was just sparked by what Steve was saying about the communication. And there's in the Dreamspell that Jose revamped and kind of created, I guess.
Yeah.
There's like this 4 different aspects that each of the kin, they each have support, they each have a guide and a challenge and an occult, which is like a magic power or hidden ability. And so ebb kind of is traditionally known as the road, or the human, and it goes along this month with the qualities of free will, influence, and wisdom. So the energy of this month ahead is kind of that free will that we have to go our own way and make our choices responsibly with wisdom, and how we influence others around us with our free will. And so for this new moon coming up, I thought the coolest thing related to what Steve was saying was that with our support, we've got Manik, and with the guide, our guiding power this month is Lamat, and the challenge is the strengthening kind of weakness, and that's Eek. So everyone knows Eek is like the breath of communication and spirit. And so I just thought it was interesting about how you started saying about your challenge with putting the 2 sentences together, you know, back in the day before going to Toastmistresses, of course, because that'll straighten you out. Nothing like a nice, receptive group of ladies to feel comfortable expressing yourself with.
Yeah.
Truly. And then of course the occult, this magic power of the moon with 4 ebb would be Muluk. So I don't want to go too much into those to cut into the presentation and all, but for this moon, the strengthening quality is working with that breath, that spirit communication, and letting your tongue speak only what is most glorious. And just as another little point, I have, I know quite a few people who are yellow human or ebb, and they are not the best communicators, like kind of shy with speaking up. So I find that energy, it manifests in our world. So
Wow.
that's
Thank you.
a
That's
little bit
wonderful.
of, yeah. So each archetype does have these 4 qualities of the support, guide, challenge, and then the magical power. So it's just a deeper way to get into the flow of things.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, on that note, when you talk about the breath now, that was a big part of the speaking up, because growing up surfing, whenever a big wave would come, I would hold my breath. And so getting up on stage, it felt like this big wave was coming, and I would hold my breath. So try and do public speaking while holding your breath. It's kind of difficult. So I had to,
That's a challenge.
yeah. I got that insight, and it really opened up the whole thing. Oh, that's why I'm holding my breath. Here comes the big wave of excitement, getting up in front of all the people. And I just have to practice, keep breathing. Thank you for that, Quentin. That's good.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's interesting. The breath and communication are most intimately connected.
Mhm. Yeah.
And for a visual representation, it looks like
Those are the 4 aspects.
yeah.
Mhm. And that's from what book?
This is the 13 Moon Almanac. So since you asked, they do cover, like they have different artists every year do their cover.
Mhm.
And I've gotten this is my 3rd one, and so they're emailing, like, anyone who's got art that is related to the theme of the coming year, which is Kawak. So on July 26th, we enter a Kawak year. So that's like in 3 or 4 months from now. And you know, the storm with the lightning path and all.
Mhm.
And I says to Barbara, we got to get your dolphin painting on the cover of this book for next year. Like,
Mhm.
it's got to happen.
Yeah, cool. Tell me how and why, and you can have it. It can
Well,
happen.
why?
¿Cómo? Oh,
Because it would be, you'd have the star of life or the flower of life pattern all over dolphins. It would be beautiful. But
yeah, wonderful.
Mhm.
Good idea. Thank you. Thank you for being so open
Mhm.
to the cosmic dolphins. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
Right on.
that would be.
Yeah, just let me know whenever you want. I can send you for printing or for whatever format or whatever. I will sort of work it out
okay.
how to send to you, or you take a copy, or Dwayne can has already some, because he has all my paintings anyway. So if it's closer and easier, we also can he can also send you the, if it's for printing, but maybe for printing you need another format.
We'll work it
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Okay.
That'd be great. That'd be great to have
Super.
your art there for another year on a book.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
wonderful.
was in Holland. There's a lady. She had one year. I had 1 year. I think it was Khan. She had it on her little booklet, but it was, this one is bigger. You see, I'm I'm getting more and more space for my art. Thank you.
Mhm.
Slowly I'm progressing with it. But actually it feels like this artwork I did, it's for us. It's not only for me. I don't feel like it belongs to me. I just made it, but it belongs to us,
Beautiful.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
yeah, we're receiving it. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah. And thank you, Quentin. This is the first time I've met you or been on the Zoom, so this is all new. But I mean, talk about a another wealth of information.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you, and thanks for
Yeah,
your
it's
sharing.
a pleasure to meet you too, Joanne.
Yeah.
I've been hot on the track of the lightning path ever since I discovered it.
Mm.
So just been loving all of the videos and presentations, and it's been a real eye opener and game changer for me. So I'm very
Wow.
excited to get to be here with you guys.
Right on. Right on.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to roll if you guys are.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Buckle up, buckle up.
Okay. Get in that submarine and off we go.
I love that submarine.
Mhm.
Mute. I'll mute.
Here we go. So I hadn't intended this to be a tribute to Jose Arguelles, but that's just the way it turned out. And I'm not the only person who has honored his memory, but it's a real pleasure to step up and do that. He was 10 years older than me and was definitely, has in this life, was one of my major mentors. Most of my introduction to him came to a focus through his release of this book, Earth Ascending. It's what drew his life and my life into cooperation, and was able in 1986 to bring him and his wife Lloydine to Calgary, and for a weekend workshop that was really quite wonderful, and was by his standards very well attended. He realized how obscure the world that he was bringing forth was to the commanding population of Calgary. We were at the time definitely outside the box, and I treasure this particular. This was his tribute in the copy of Earth Ascending that I had there at the time. Lloydine signed in with "Clouds by day, stars by night. No wonder my spirit loves to take flight." And then Jose, "My great joy, brother, to share with you in the adventure of Earth Ascending." Well, it certainly has been an adventure, and that particular book was what got me started in working closely with Jose and in bringing forth the Harmonic Convergence initially. So as I've pondered my path over all these years, I realized that I'm really on a mythic journey, and that I was responding to the value of myth in one's life. And Marilyn Ferguson, who years ago had a periodical called Brain Mind Bulletin, She also wrote the Aquarian Conspiracy. This is back in the 80s. Well, she contributed this description of the purpose of myth to her commentary on Jose's book, Earth Ascending. And it goes right to the heart of what he did with the Mayan material. Our culture has little understanding of the purpose of myth or the role of the myth maker. Myths are not for believing or disbelieving. They are for using. If a myth or metaphor works in revamping our deepest values, it is truer than the evening news or the textbook fact. Myth, poetry, art, and music are truths of a different dimension, sustenance and regeneration for the tired spirit. The human brain learns best by story, by game, by a framework of meaning. Well, it's this framework of meaning that we have with the Mayan tzolkin calendar. And that calendar is embedded in Mesoamerican civilization in countless cultures throughout the Americas. And this particular image is from the book, from Arguelles' book, Earth Ascending. And this was the feathered serpent showing up in my life for the first time, or consciously for the first time. And it's been an unbelievable adventure. So this first encounter with Jose's Earth Ascending work came as the Harmonic Convergence ceremony on August 16th, 1987. So there were people all over the world, like ourselves. There I am with, I don't know, 40 or 50 other people out at the Estonian Indian Reserve west of Calgary, under my favorite mountain, Mount Yamnuska. So sunrise on August 16th. But all over the world, people were likewise aligning themselves with the natural energies of sacred sites. And this is the short list. There were, hundreds of thousands, certainly, who actively participated, and there were literally millions more who at least heard about it. It became quite a media phenomenon at the time. And it suffered a lot of ridicule and so on. But to my way of experiencing life, this was a really wonderful prelude to what we can expect in the coming age. So there's Jose and I under that sacred mountain. And at the weekend portion of the workshop that he and Lloydine facilitated, we're at Mount Yamnuska, or at the Estonian Indian Center near Yamnuska. And I bring in this lunation birthday comparison because it, I think, helps contextualize our work so that for those of you who aren't familiar with the notion of the lunation birthday, this is your lunation birthday is the phase of the moon that you were born at. In this case, we see that Jose was born close to the new moon, or certainly closer than myself. But we're both in this first new moon to first quarter phases of the moon. The key word for his sector is emergence. Keyword for my sector, expansion. So we could say that here we are, him fulfilling his potential here and his task of bringing emergence, bringing forth a new tone. Him fulfilling his work connects with me. Then I'm there to take it the next step, take it another step ahead, and expand that initial impulse. Now, the lunation cycle itself is, as Dane Rudyard teaches. It's a framework of meaning, basically. It's the cycle, the qualitative dimension of the lunar cycle. And we see keywords for each of 8 sectors. So from emergence to expansion to action, overcoming. And then we have fulfillment, demonstration, reorientation, and release. So these are the 8 keywords that describe the basic dynamic of the lunation cycle. So when we take that basic structure, and this is because it's a fractal structure, meaning that mathematically it can be used at whatever scale we want to apply it at. So in this case, I'm applying it to the cycle relating Saturn and Uranus. And from this vantage point, we're seeing the dynamic interaction of control and freedom. So control represented by Saturn, freedom represented by Uranus. Well, Jose and myself, being Aquarians, Aquarius is ruled, so to speak, by Uranus. So, and it's also, I mean, you can't really understand Uranus unless you also understand Saturn. So the fact that the two relates to all things Aquarian, not just the Uranus factor. So by using the lunation cycle fractal dimension here, we can take this 44-year cycle from 1942 to 1988. Now this is a structure of consciousness that is unfolding through phase after phase. And so we see that in Jose's life, he released in the last sector of the cycle, not only his book, Earth Ascending, but also the Mayan factor. And prior to that, there were the book Transformative Vision, and also the book in 1972, Mandala. So for these last 3 sectors of the Saturn-Uranus cycle, he was very active in releasing, essentially releasing a seed harvest. And that seed harvest was distributed, a lot of it through the whole Earth Ascending, or the Harmonic Convergence experience, because it brought him to international fame. So I looked to ChatGPT to give us just a little quick overview. After Harmonic Convergence in 1987, Arguelles continued to develop his ideas and concepts, including the creation of the Dreamspell calendar system. The Dreamspell was designed as an alternative way of measuring time and organizing the calendar, which Arguelles believed would help perpetuate and amplify the transformative energies initiated by the Harmonic Convergence. The Dreamspell calendar is based on a 13-month, 28-day cycle, with each day represented by a unique combination of one of 20 solar seals. And these are the glyphs representing different energies or archetypes, and one of the 13 tones, which relate to various aspects of consciousness. The system incorporates elements of Mayan cosmology, numerology, and related symbolism. Arguelles presented it as a tool for personal and collective spiritual growth and synchronization with natural rhythms. Arguelles believed that adopting the Dreamspell calendar could contribute to a shift in human consciousness by aligning individuals with the energies of the universe and fostering a deeper connection to the earth and to each other. The Dreamspell calendar has been met with both enthusiasm and skepticism within the New Age and spiritual communities. While some people resonate with its ideas and principles, others view it as a less traditional or authentic representation of Mayan culture and cosmology. So one of the sites that has a lot of material related to the Dreamspell is www.13moon.com. And I'm really appreciating that they are making it clear that this is not a Mayan phenomenon so much as a inspired by the Mayan phenomenon. As they say here, the Dreamspell is a multidimensional tool for the human being in the modern world to reconnect to nature and the sacred mathematical synchronic order of the universe. A harmonic set of codes which describe Earth as a living whole system and also offer profound principles for social reorganization. Dreamspell is a storehouse of the interstellar, interplanetary, cosmological history of the Earth. It has the complete codes and cosmology for establishing galactic culture. It is an antidote to the memory virus known as cosmic amnesia, a tool for galactic synchronization, the primary toolkit of fourth dimensional time, a door to the infinite. And now here they make this distinction with the traditional Maya. It should be understood that this system is not the traditional Mayan calendar that connects one specifically to the culture of the Maya people and their lands, history, ancestry, and religion. Rather, the Dreamspell calendar is intended for people of all cultures to establish what Dr. Arguelles calls galactic culture. This calendar system is truly a gift from the stars, here to help us awaken to our multidimensional nature as evolving citizens of the cosmos. While the ancient Maya were the first to record the harmonic mathematics of nature's time, these mathematics themselves are not Mayan. They are universal. These mathematics are the basis of the calendar system, and they clarify the same harmonic ratios and cycles that govern our human bodies, simultaneously, and cycles that govern our human bodies simultaneously govern the macrocosmic cycles of our planet, our solar system, our galaxy, and beyond. So there we are at Harmonic Convergence. And even by the time of Harmonic Convergence in 1987, I was already on the lightning path. And that was because on March 3rd, 1986, I had a skull-splitting zap of lightning, an insight into what I'm now calling the lightning path. And this was the whole correlation between the lunation cycle, the synodic cycle of the moon, the 29.5-day cycle of the moon, and the tzolkin calendar grid. So while Jose is, after Harmonic Convergence, creating the Dreamspell from 1987 to its release in 1990, I'm simultaneously trekking the lightning path and bringing, my contribution forward. So the two Aquarians, two brothers there, working simultaneously with different approaches to the moon cycle tzolkin connection, which essentially we have here the tzolkin matrix and harmonic module, a fractal yardstick of radial time with multiple applications, something analogous to the periodic table of elements, but of the synchronic order. So this is what we call the radial tzolkin. This is the fundamental pattern that Jose extracted from the traditional Mayan calendar systems. Its glyphs are a collection of ancient symbols encoded with symbolic messages. Together, these messages constitute what can be called a galactic language of light. By allowing this language to permeate your mind-body system, you can activate and promote the cellular restructuring necessary to create and nourish your light body, the spirit body that is crafted within and permeates your physical form. As your light body becomes activated, more and more of your decisions are made in alignment with spirit. Eventually, as your vibration rises and you fully awaken, you can actually ascend into other dimensions. You can even take your physical body with you on this journey into the cosmos. That's a little summary from the Mayan Oracle, which came out in 1992, and which, for me, treading the lightning path, this was a tremendous gift, because it just fed right into the way that I was working with the lunation cycle and the tzolkin combined. So back to the fractal use of the Saturn-Uranus cycle. Here we have now going from 1988, the conjunction of Saturn and Uranus in 1988, and looking ahead to the completion of the cycle itself in 2032. So just contextualizing where we are now, according to this framework, and seeing, we go back to 1988. We have Jose is working on the Dreamspell, which is then released in 1990. Here's once again, the emergence factor. Then by 1992, we have the Mayan Oracle, which I just read from, and the expansion sector, and that's where I'm really kicking in. I'm integrating that Mayan Oracle into my own work. And then from then on, once Harmonic Convergence was completed, we entered a 25-year tunnel of transformation that culminated in 2012 with the winter solstice 2012. So here we are, we're getting this sense of the evolution of this whole sun of flowers phenomenon, say, entry into the sixth sun, what has been called the sun of flowers, and also the sun of consciousness. And that came at the fulfillment stage of the current Saturn-Uranus cycle. So where are we now? Well, we're past the last quarter. We're into the sector with the keyword reorientation. Now, reorientation, what does that mean? Well, we're at this point, looking back to December 21st. We're looking back to Harmonic Convergence. These are sources of inspiration, but it's time for us to take that inspiration and reorient ourselves to an emerging new cycle coming up in 2032. So how do we prepare for that? Well, we reorient by releasing, by letting go of all non-essentials to our fundamental orientation, our fundamental take on this whole evolutionary journey. Now, in some of his other writings, other than the ones I've mentioned, this comes from his Cosmic History series. Jose talks about the Uranian flux tubes. And when I came across this image on the left with the different, the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, this is the kind of the actual geological, cosmological activity that's going on that brings down the lightning. And the lightning has this physical effect, but there's also this metaphysical side to it. And so this image is kind of like a metaphor for what we're experiencing with using the dream spell, with flowing with the lightning path. We're actually modeling actual physical manifestations of of energy and information coming from beyond. And so once again, I inquired of ChatGPT as to, are the Dreamspell and the lightning path Uranian flux tubes? And this is what came back. The idea of Uranian flux tubes builds upon the notion of energetic connections between celestial bodies and human consciousness. According to Arguelles, these flux tubes are pathways of energy and information that connect the Earth to Uranus and other planets in our solar system. These flux tubes are thought to act as channels or conduits for higher vibrational energies, facilitating the transmission of cosmic intelligence and insights into human awareness. They serve as pathways through which transformative energies flow, influencing individual and collective consciousness. During certain astrological alignments or events like the Harmonic Convergence, Arguelles believed that these Uranian flux tubes would be amplified, allowing for a more direct and profound exchange of energies between Earth and Uranus. This, in turn, could trigger shifts in human perception, catalyzing spiritual awakening and global transformation. So, for those who have not experienced the Dreamspell, Quentin did a great introduction. This is a little snippet here based on my what's called the galactic signature. We each have a galactic signature within the Dreamspell, and mine just happens to be the blue overtone monkey. And this is the kind of associated inspirational description that comes with, this is the harmonic 8, or it's contained within this harmonic rhythmic process. Formulate free will of equality. Quentin was talking about this free will factor earlier. Your birthday on the 13 moon calendar is Resonant Moon Day 25, year of the Blue Galactic Storm. Your signature is Kin 31, blue overtone monkey. So we see the hieroglyph for the monkey there to the right and also to the left. And the one on the left includes the 4 other elements that Quentin was mentioning earlier. So the 4 alternate symbols associated with the core of Chuen. So like the lightning path, there's an inspirational kind of poetic gift that comes with. So this is a little mantra for the blue overtone monkey. I am power in order to play. Commanding illusion, I seal the process of magic with the overtone tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of self-generation. So from time to time, I feel like I kind of put on my blue overtone monkey coat and head out into the great blue yonder. And it's been quite lovely to have that realm available to me, just as I have the lightning path available. Even prior to the time I knew that my galactic signature was blue overtone monkey, I had created this painting on the right, which I called the blue monkey. And it was later that I discovered that there was such a thing in the Dreamspell. So that was kind of fun. Now, when we come to the lightning path, we have what I consider to be an image of this notion of the Uranian flux tube. This image on the left, before this image came into creation mode, it danced around in my head for about a week. I felt this presence in my brow chakra, and I was getting this sense of this particular image, but it was just an intuitive sense at that time. But I finally caught a clear image of what I was to create, and this was the image that resulted from that process. And for me, it shows the grounding of the galactic energetic. So we have the Buddha and the lunation cycle surrounding the Buddha, aligning with 13 of the hieroglyphs of the tzolkin, and the image at the top, the yin yang image there, is the symbol for the Hunab Ku, the galactic center. And so this is an image of, downloading from the galactic center a 13 tone energetic, and there's 20 of these in total. So 20 times 13, 260. This is the number associated with the tzolkin. So this is one little snapshot, and I think it makes a good illustration of this notion of Uranian flux tube. This is the flux tube, and we're in it. And we each have because of the time and place we were born, we each have a distinct alignment to galactic center through this mechanism. And so it's about becoming more and more conscious of what the mechanism is. I'll just share then the corresponding invocation that goes along with someone born in this particular temple, as they're called, as I'm calling them. The temple of fingers and toes, an invocation of sovereignty. The primordial mother supports me unconditionally. Her breath of spirit quickens my being. She communicates with me through dreams. I'm a seed of possibility in the soil of her becoming. Vitality, passion, and creativity are mine, as I own the power held within my core. The future beckons me to surrender my past. This I do as I identify completely with the path revealed. I see that the path has only one heart. Signals and signs from many realms remind me of my cosmic origins. My heart soars as guardians and guides present themselves to me. Innocently, I surrender my will to the will of the Creator. Abundance floods into my life as I empty myself to receive. May the pillar of my life honor this abundance, and may it serve to unite both heaven and earth. So we're moving on to another example of temple of birth. This is Jose's temple of birth, the temple of the breath of spirit. And I'll just share that invocation as well. So with keeping Jose in mind, here we have the invocation of sovereignty for the temple of the breath of spirit. I am a galactic conduit in communication with the divine. I am in resonance with the earth. I am a spiritual warrior in the hall of mirrors. I define the lightning path of ascension and release. Centered in cosmic consciousness, I see the source of life as myself. Inspiration from unseen forces empowers my spirit. Dreams carry me deep into the mystery of my soul. That soul is alive with the pulse of cosmic potential. Passionately, I seek to manifest that potential. I surrender my will to the will of the Creator, to the great work I dedicate myself to the great work. I show the way. So here we see the synchronicity that brought me into this this place of honoring Jose at this particular juncture. It turns out, as I've indicated, on March 3rd, 1986 is when I had, I'll call it a revelation. I saw into this connection between the synodic cycle of the moon and the orbit of Uranus. And that particular March 3rd moment, changed my life forever. It was absolutely profound at the time. And so just in the last couple of weeks, I realized that it was on March 3rd, 2002, that Jose was honored by Mayan elders as closer of the cycle. And it was also here to note that it was on March 3rd, 2024, that I had started creating this whole presentation that I'm delivering here now. So it was this March 3rd connection that got me oriented to honoring Jose. So just to continue, on March 3rd, 2002, Jose Arguelles was officially honored by 9 Mayan elders as Valum Votan, closer of the cycle. In that role, he had contextualized harmonic convergence as the entry point into a 25-year countdown to the close of a 5,125-year world age, said to end on December 21st, 2012. Unfortunately, much like the misrepresentations broadcast by the media regarding harmonic convergence in August of '87, the same media missed the true significance of the 2012 date and almost obliterated it in a tsunami of doom and gloom commentary that rose up prior to the event's occurrence. Rather than dwelling on December 21st, 2012 as a linear time end of world scenario, Mesoamerican daykeepers declared it to be the cyclic time beginning of an entirely new and peaceful era of human evolution, one astromythologically related to the 25,000-year cycle of Earth's wobble, known as the precession of the equinoxes. This vast precessional cycle causes a slow yet predictable alteration of humanity's fundamental relationship to deep space. It was detectable only to dedicated skywatchers like the Maya, since it proceeds at the almost imperceptible rate of just 1 zodiacal degree every 72 years. Once comprehended and tracked, however, the precessional cycle became a favored frame of reference for the Maya in tracking successive stages in the evolution of human consciousness. This is a little snippet from the Lightning Path website. And the byline that I've included in these latest generations of that site: finding our way into the sun of consciousness. And it's in the last 3 weeks that going back through some old journals of mine, I came across this poetry by Jose, a poem called the sixth sun. So in closing, I'll just share this bit of Jose's poetry, which he wrote on June 5th, 1987. So just prior to harmonic convergence. He's evoking the return of the sixth sun. The sixth sun According to ancient Mexican prophecy, August 16th, 1987 marks the end of the fifth sun, the sun of movement. The days following mark the birth of the sixth sun, the sun of flowers. The sixth sun, the sun of flowers, is the flowering sun. From the sun through the earth, it flowers. From the earth through the heart, it flowers. Like a song in the throat, it flowers. Like a light in the brain, it flowers. Uniting and bringing splendor to all, the flowering sun dawns. In a cloudburst of flowers, it dawns. The sun of flowers, the flowering sun, will come. What is not purified, it will purify. And in the innocence of what remains, it will embroider a pattern of flowering stars. In the sun of flowers, each being is a vessel of innocence. In the sun of flowers, beings joined together in love are circles of innocence. In the sun of flowers, a ladder of 13 heavens will become visible. In the sun of flowers, water will flame and fire will melt. In the sun of flowers, sound will pierce the eyes. In the sun of flowers, light will be listened to. In the sun of flowers, the flowering sun will be born in the heart. The earth will know, and the clouds will think our thoughts, and what we have thought ourselves to be will be no more. In the sun of flowers, death will not gather, dawn will not cease, and only children will know how to return to the stars, to the flowers, to the fire of the flowering sun. Woohoo! There you go, folks.
Welcome, Blue Monkey.
Woohoo! Happy to be here.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you. That just gives another facet to the whole thing. Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right on. Thanks for helping me catch it. You know, I was in creating this, I was aware of our last, I don't know if it was our last full moon session or the last new moon session, where we were talking about innocence as characteristic of, specifically, I believe it was the Pluto in Leo, or Pluto in Aquarius. No, what was that?
Pluto. Pluto in Leo.
Innocence, Pluto in Aquarius. I think that was it. And so, yeah, when that came up here, it seemed natural to bring it forth. But you know, I'm really glad you showed up, Quentin, because in the past, very often when I've exchanged with folks that are following the Dreamspell, there's been a difficulty around either or. You either go this way or you go this way. There's no, you know, crosstalk. Whereas what we're experiencing right here, right now, is that crosstalk, and I'm really grateful for that. I think it honors the larger vision of what's possible with these symbols and their interconnectedness.
Well, Dwayne, I gotta say that was a beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
You added a lot of very rich elements in there that I had never imagined before.
Great, great. That's exactly what it was meant to do. Yeah.
And it's definitely one thing I wanted to ask was about the synchronicity that led you in this direction for this month's presentation. Was it when you mentioned the March 3rd?
Yeah, on March 3rd, I'm realizing that he was honored on March 3rd. And remembering that it was March 3rd that I had my original download, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they all came together and it was like, okay, and I'll just keep pulling these threads and it'll lead on to the presentation, you know. And so it just kind of built itself. I just more or less got out of the way and let it come through. And that's the way ideally, that's what I'm able to do is be the channel, you know, be the conduit, which we're all being called to, you know. We're all surrounded by these multidimensional realms, and it's a matter of opening up and surrendering to.
Exactly.
Mm.
Putting our little egos out of the way so that something greater can come through.
Exactly.
So on the note of some of the things you mentioned, like a general theme of like for one, how there's that clear distinction that this 13 moon calendar Dreamspell is not the Mayan calendar. Like they are two different things, but very similar. And then with that kind of theme, also how you mentioned other people into the Dreamspell that you've talked to in the past, like very very narrow-minded kind of. And that's kind of one of the main things that I like to bring in to awareness, kind of how you and Jose have both gone in different directions, but from the same source. And I think that's really important, because what we don't need on Earth is a bunch of people doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Because then you have way too much of the same thing. I mean, in one sense, that is like how it is, how we all breathe and we all eat and we all drink water. But when it comes to this creativity and exploration of this higher levels of consciousness and this celestial alignments and this architecture of the higher dimensions, there's so much to explore that it's like you kind of had to go your own path and not just follow what everyone else is doing, because that's already in existence, but you needed to go and create something totally new that hasn't been discovered thus far. And so I just think it's so cool how they're both so complementary, because I've studied a lot of what Jose has taught and shared, and I never came across anything like what you have pioneered with the lunar cycles. But he did say that the law of time will confirm, like if something is true, then it will synchronize with this cycles, because they're just so all inclusive that just about everything under the sun can fit into the framework of you know, the 20 and 13 ratio and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So that's just, I wanted to address that differentiation, how there's you know, no one size fits all kind of thing here.
Right on. No, my way or the highway.
Right.
That's
We all
right.
have our own connection hooked into. So it comes up for me when you mentioned March 3rd. I said, what happened on March 3rd? I think in the last new moon, we were talking about there's something about the outside world, like Barbara started off today, that outside world. And I know we were talking about thieves. And on March 3rd, I know I religiously lock our car. But for some reason, maybe that was the problem. I was being too religious. And it seems like I didn't lock the car. And on March 3rd, someone went through the car. And we have a rule of thumb that if we want to keep something that's precious material-wise, we don't leave it in the car. But conveniently, I leave my $400 prescription sunglasses in the car. So when we went out the morning of March 4th, I look in the car and here the cup holders are on my seat and our little peace bear is on Sophia's seat. And we look and the thief was not, what's the word? He didn't damage anything. Like it just felt like
just taking.
And so I look, oh, where Peace Bear was my sunglasses. Oh, the sunglass case is gone. And in the glove compartment, they left the registration and everything, but they took a Swiss Army knife. And that's it.
Wow.
So we sat in the car and before we brought out the incense and cleansed it, we forgave the thief and said, whoever it is struggling. They left our most precious item, the little peace bear, and we forgave them. So I said, well, I should let the management know here that someone in the parking lot. Well, the one woman in the office was busy with a new tenant, and I said, oh, I'm not going to bring that up. But I walk out into the parking lot, and here's the other management couple, and they're cleaning up trash, and he's quite upset people left trash on the lawn. I said, oh, somebody went through our car, and I just want to let you know they took my sunglasses, and that's it. And he said, yeah, we have video, but there's probably not much. I said, yeah, I don't expect you to do anything. I'm just letting you know that there's somebody. So then on March the 8th, which is Friday, I see a phone message from the office, and I had this feeling. And I didn't listen to it because we were going out the door. So we went down by the office, and I said, oh, I got a message. And she said, yeah, we found this pair of sunglasses in the bushes. And are these ones you're talking about? I said, yeah, they are. So it was like this,
Wow.
this miracle happened. They came back. We just felt this miraculous feeling of, based on the forgiveness, that it allowed it to come back to us. And it just was this amazing feeling of just a miraculous event. So I wanted to share that that's what happened on March 3rd, and that we all have our own connections to this. I really like this Uranian flux tube, which I've always been drawn to that rendering that you made, Dwayne, of the flux tube. It just really feels like the connection. So
Right on.
in that theme of we all connect to it in our own ways. it's available to us all. So I just wanted to share that and practice my Mercury speaking in Pisces.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Steve, it almost sounds like you had to be able to forgive and release, you know, have non-attachment to your sunglasses to get them back. Because
Yeah,
I can imagine if you were like the whole time like dreading it and
right,
that darn thief taking my glasses and
right,
and if it really affected you like that way, then you might not have gotten them back.
right, right. It was very interesting. There was no feeling of, what would maybe be in the past of resistance or anger arising, or it was just like, oh, wow, this came through, and just it happened very quickly just to come from forgiveness of this person who's suffering and for whatever reason.
Mm.
And then he released those sunglasses because they didn't serve him.
Oh, cool.
And they came back. So yeah, it's yeah, it just felt really quite miraculous. Connecting into the
Flex.
yeah, connecting in with the flex tube and allowing the universe to work its magic.
So here's something about that flux tube that's pretty interesting is how this 20 archetypes that we cycle through ad infinitum, they're related to the 20 fingers and toes, and they also have a connection with the solar system. So I guess this book will be backwards, but it shows here the planets with Pluto the furthest out from the sun and Mercury the closest to the sun. And what you have is a circuit. So Pluto and Mercury circuit, Neptune and Venus circuit, and then you have Earth and Uranus circuit. So that's part of how Uranus is like our big brother planet. And then you have Mars and Saturn, and then finally Maldek and Jupiter. Maldek is an asteroid belt, but it's just interesting how these outer three planets are like in astrology thought of more like more collective or subconscious planets.
Mhm.
So like Saturn and Uranus have that threshold where maybe Chiron or some planet or asteroid is in there. But
Mhm.
that's a bit of science about the flux tube there between Uranus. And I think Jose even said the whole, well, it's all like transmission from somewhere, but it's like definitely a Uranian influence with that spark of new ideas and creativity. And I've got to share something else because I've been meaning to show this for quite a while. And basically, this 13 moon calendar, it's a little different from the Dreamspell because the 13 moon calendar and the Dreamspell are different. But the tarot 22 major arcana, they flow through this 28-day cycle where the first 6 days are like the 6 days of creation. And then it starts the Fool's Journey, Magician, high priestess, empress, emperor, and so on and so forth. And the synchronicities are just always, you know, the more you tune in, the more you find that there's this incredible divine architecture of reality kind of thing. And on this month,
Fine architecture.
you have day 25. That's a significant day, not only for everyone born on that day, but day 25 happens to be March 3rd was day 25. And Dwayne was also born on a day 25, but in a month before, I think. So I'm pretty sure Dwayne born in February. So your birthday is 28 days before March 3rd, which is like a perfect lunar cycle. And in the tarot journey, every day is a card, which makes it really fun to follow. And the day you're born on that month, you get a tarot card for life. And the 13 moon calendar, Jose kind of made it like a glove or a hand where you have all this different cultures that fit into it. Like the Germanic runes are one that fit into the calendar, the Arabic alphabet, the tarot, and astrology, and just Kabbalistic, all kinds of different systems fit in. So it's kind of a unifying force. So with that all said, I want to share that this is Dwayne's card. So it's the Pisces card.
Ah, right on.
And the moon.
I see a bluish figure.
Yeah.
Ooh, and
Yeah,
a wolf.
There's a lot there.
Beautiful.
So it's
Thank
like seeing this is just confirms like that you're so in alignment with the lunar cycles and everything.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
No surprise there.
Yeah. They always hit the nail right on the hammer.
Right.
Well, and Barbara, you've traversed some of that territory with your tarot readings and your
Oh, well,
the Mayan
yeah.
clips
I
and-
mean, yeah, I made this shamanic tarot readings because they're like they're spontaneous and like I mix the cards and think of the next week, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm scared. Sometimes it really sort of blows my mind. Like the last reading I made, I couldn't publish it. You know why? Because it felt so strong, and I didn't want to. I felt I can't say it. It's too amazing. So I left it out. I said I'm not gonna do it. But it was so intense to see what, I mean, for me, to see what's happening all around us. And I could also put it in words, but then I thought this is too extreme. This is too far out for normal people who sort of have to digest so much anyway. So if I tell this officially, it's definitely a way how to drown my channel because nobody else will ever go and watch another video because it's so intense. So I have to sort of go and find another way, maybe to read one card for 1 week or something, because the constellations, like above and below, like the subconsciousness and the sky energy, how I see it, and the past and the future, is so cool. I mean, it shows so much movement in there. I'm amazed. So I have to step back and maybe just start with one card so it's not so intense. That's how I only can explain how I'm slowing down because it's like intense. They have so much information and so on spot, and it's gonna be the future. Definitely, we're gonna use that definitely more and more, because the old tarot reading, the old cards, I mean, I still have the Thoth cards, like from Aleister Crowley, which I think they are super because they are so cleaned already from the religion kind of part, because he was totally kicking everything out which the church was putting in there. So, but I mean, the next step is really the Mayan calendar and galactic. I like that word, you know, like we're stepping into this cosmic galactic kind of terms. Yeah, you're shaking your head, Steve. Do you see it like this?
Oh, yeah, I'm
you
just saying that in terms of speaking, and certainly you probably don't feel like doing it now, but I feel that you should speak that out, whatever that was that you came across somehow.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah, but sometimes I have to pull back.
whether to the ocean or something, but it seems like you're holding on. The word release comes, that you want to release whatever that was that you came across that was so much.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, and it's such a, it doesn't fit with the reality at all. So there's something, I think we are missing out on the real reality, and we are into this false, in this fake reality, which is leading us down another road where we are sort of in fear, in constant dilemma and war, and all, you know, it's taking us in a total different direction. But the galactic energy is totally different. So I have to maybe learn how to, I had to stop. Maybe I have to put the doses a little more. It's like, you know, like when you take mushrooms, you have to take a smaller dose of
microdose.
It feels really like it's a dosification, because otherwise we're gonna be confused. I mean, we are confused already. So with this splitting of reality in a way, especially also now in this Pisces times, I can see how different things can be, you know. If you connect with fear and war, you are, you know, you can have enough of that. You can choose where you are sort of connecting. So it's the choice we are making, if we are going inside, or we saying no, this outside story and president or no president isn't important, you know. Let's find our center inside and bring that forward. That's maybe what you tried to say that I should do. Bring that, what I see, forward without fear of not hitting the spot or something like that.
Bring it forth as fortune cookies.
Huh?
Say, bring it forth as fortune cookies.
Yes.
Just nice and condensed, you know, a little bite-sized.
Yeah, bite-sized, concise.
Exactly. It has to be a little more smaller doses. like you're saying. It's like, or it feels like it. So I'm working on it, and I'm trying not to get distracted, and because yeah, I want to stick to the tarot where how I sort of mix the cards and see what I can see. It's like I'm not somebody who wants to pull a card and it's written down already which day it is, you know. I'm a rebel. This is my rebel gene in me. I don't know. This is like it has to be
The rebel at
yeah,
play.
it's exciting. That's exciting when there's something coming which you pull. It's the now and here. You just mix the cards and you were thinking of something, and then you can let it come. It's now. So I'm like that. And I will be until the last ick, the last breath. Okay.
Thank you for speaking that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Would you feel drawn, or does it feel what right, or is there an energetic there about maybe drawing a card for us, this group, right now as we enter into the ebb, the new moon here today?
Is this for me?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Barbara, just, no, that was a question whether, and the group could agree or not agree, but I guess I'd just be curious. And it may be too last minute for you to draw a card or have a card come forth for.
Yeah, Barbara, pull a card. Just one bite-sized chunk.
Oh, now I get it. I'm like, sorry, you guys. I'm like in this absolute Pisces space. I have I can see that sometimes I'm missing out with your questions, but I'm going to get the cards, okay?
And we get a tour of your home as well.
Fortune cookie.
As she goes.
Yeah, it feels like a tunnel picture. Where are they? Where are you guys? Because I was like changing my whole place around. It's like everything had to go into another place. And now I'm looking for cards. Oh, here they are. No. This is really. Oh, where are they? Well, this is like. I'm sorry. They might be here. Oh, here they are. So now I'm in another room, in another space, and I have them.
Perfect.
So you guys, you all can think of what you want to know for what? For the next meeting, or for what you want to look? For the next meeting or for this meeting? What is the question? Think of one question. For this one or the last one or the next one?
Well, I guess for me, it's like what is coming up right here, right now, in this moment, with what we've shared in this group together, and we're a new moon ebb, and I guess for me it was something to reflect upon, like what the card that's drawn, it'll give us something.
Okay, I have it, and Joanne, you say stop when I should pull it up. Tell me.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Okay, stop.
Now?
Yes. Stop.
All right. It's
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, is that Chimi?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Now, that's certainly release. Death,
Wow.
death, right?
So now we need Quentin to say something until I. Quentin?
Yeah. So that's part
It's your
of
turn.
my experience giving tarot readings. You know, people get the death card, and then I'm like, oh, they all get scared and
Yeah.
Yeah. Change.
But it's a nice, it's a nice card. I like it somehow because it's also like more inside, you know. It feels like we are in this cosmic womb kind of thing. It's like
It's in there.
not going outside. It's more going inside, looking inside, and where are we going? And there's like a lot of space. I mean, this whole dying process is also has a rhythm. It also has time layers, you know. It's like which you have to like with the chakras, when you let go first chakra and then the second chakra and then finally here in the back is where the third eye is. That's actually where the soul goes out when we die. I mean, this is where we have to sort of when I heard that, I was like, wow. Because in the same sentence, they said it's if you are not trained enough to die, if you don't have a power to go, then you can your soul can also go through the eyes or other openings, the mouth and even the butt. And I thought, oh my God. You know, I was like, so I thought, okay. So some people who are not really prepared to die, they're just gonna fart out, you know.
Make an ass of themselves.
That made me aware that we have to sort of be more cultivated with also how we die. You know, it's like I don't want to just go like a fart, you know. So
Oh my goodness.
that's
Into
yeah,
the-
but I mean, this is the openings we have. We don't have so many openings. My yoga teacher, she said, there are 9 openings. Could that be? The eyes, the
1, 2, 3,
nose.
4, 5, 6,
Ear.
The
7,
ears,
8,
orifices, yeah.
2, 4.
Is it 9? Because she always talks about things like this, and then I sit there and say, oh yeah. So there's not so many openings where we sort of can escape, like as a soul.
Hmm.
Yeah, and what else do you guys see me? I also see it like a rebirth ritual as well, like all the plants are sort of dying. Things are going. We are always in cycles. So
Mhm.
also big cycles is connected with Simi.
Yeah.
So and Dwayne had this bigger picture of the cycles, like with this date in relation with Arguelles and also the moon. So that really relates to what we have been talking today.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because that's the bigger picture and reincarnation, like we are not young souls. We have been many, many, many times reincarnated um, and from one evolutional space to another, or like right now, Dwayne showed in the curve where we are at in 2024. You know, it's like it's a very important spot where we sort of have to embrace a new kind of energy to pull through to another level. And yeah, and maybe this is really like Dwayne said, it's his way of making his work alive when we do the videos, when we do the group thing. And we use also the technique to be together with other people
Mhm.
to manifest this kind of energy. So letting go of old stuff, that's also what I want to, in my channel, I also like to do the old cards, which I picked this cards, and I don't know other cards. Like there's so many other cards out there. I don't know how people can read them, you know, because you have to have a connection to the cards. And but we don't have a new connection to other ways of reading the future or relating to another picture of galactic energy. This is why I have chosen the dolphins, because I think they're very beautiful animals to relate to in the future. Well, also now, but more even in the future. And that's where we are in Pisces with the dolphins. Here we have the dolphins again. So I'm trying to see in the book what else is there, but I can't find anything in the book because I'm not concentrating on the book right now. So it was spontaneous, and I hope you liked it.
No, yeah, no, thanks, Barbara. And to me, I'll be with that, like the you know, I think of when I see Chimi, it's like, you know, the death card, but to me with that, it fits in with release, like to me, transmutation, or, you know, release kind of thing. So death is the dying of the old, and, you know, opening to what's next, an energetic,
Yeah, so it was a good card. In a way, it was a perfect card for this show, in a way, because
like you say, it's happening now. It's happening.
They're floating in kind of dolphin bodies around and waiting for the next reincarnation. Or we're all in a submarine. That's also a space.
And
where we wait for the exit, where we're going next.
And
the Pisces is the completion in the cycle.
Exactly.
And we're all in Pisces, and I feel I had come to, I came to completion with my sunglasses, and they arose again.
Especially because he couldn't see anything with the glasses. Oh my God. Yeah, I was feeling with this guy who stole the glasses. So he was happy. I have some cool glasses I can sell for a lot of money. And then he did put it on, and he saw everything like your your eyesight, like a eagle eye. You know, everything expanded, and he's like, oh sh. And he threw it away because people like, oh, they're not worth anything for him, because that's not sellable, because it's too individual already. Yeah, I could feel the disappointment this guy was going through. Oh God. So it's made for you. The glasses were made for you, not for anybody else. So it's useless.
He was very gentle with them. They were all intact. It's like even the cleaning cloth was still there. I mean, it was just I don't even know if he looked at them, but they arose again. They arose again.
Wow, it's
And then the ending, I mean, as it started off with Dwayne and Goldie, we were feeling an ending.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
On the one
Mhm.
hand,
Yes.
and a new beginning on the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When my cat died, I also felt like she went through a portal, and I could see her quickly go through there because she was so already on the other side. She was already so on another level. And sometimes I see her. Sometimes I can see her, or
Mhm.
she's also around sometimes. So this is special. Also, they're invisible, but they can be around.
Yes, sativa showed up.
Mhm.
What is sativa?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, I like that. Just and this was mentioned before, but there's just such a nice feeling that comes to me with how you described how she'd picked out her spot. It was right against the rose bush under this big, the biggest tree, the biggest or landmark on your property, and just that left me reading that, and I sort of envisioned that or felt that, and it was like such a beautiful. That was such a beautiful journey that uh, your words and things allowed me to go on with you and Goldie. It was a beautiful feeling. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Mhm.
The final chapter of the death process was burying the body. And we scouted out a spot at the base of the mountain here, the foot of the chief. It's called 0.5 Mile. I put a little bench there years ago. And so it's always a kind of a destination point for the vigorous walk, is to get up to 0.5. And so she's buried up right near the bench. And as we filled in, like there was a little ravine, and we just dragged the body down into it and nestled it into this little spot, and then we covered her over. But the last image or the last view of her face, her tongue, which is in the photo that I used there, is so prominent. There's this big, vibrant tongue. Well, the last image of her that I have was, and in the way that it impacted me, it was like, that was hard work. On to the next. Whew, I'm glad that's over with.
Oh, thank God.
Liberation, and I just all the different moments that led up to that, the places on the property that she laid, like she's there for the whole day and the whole night, and we're not interfering, we're offering from time to time, but she just pushed us away. Doesn't want the food, doesn't want the water. Now I know there's adults go through the same thing.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but I would like to go like Goldie went,
Yeah.
just let me lay down and die.
Yeah.
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 And it's
we
very
get so
difficult to die
interventionist.
in a hospital. It's very difficult to die in a hospital. Somebody said, oh, Dan Winter, he is into that. He said, because your soul cannot escape when there's too much metal.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No. Go like Goldie. That is that's inspirational, and
Oh, like Goldie, that's a wonderful slogan.
That's great.
There's a poem. There's a poem there.
But this one, man,
I think there's
the last
a
word.
t-shirt there.
I
Goldie.
want a t-shirt like that.
Goldie.
Like Goldie.
Oh man.
Oh, like Goldie. My God.
I don't know, but you guys were coming up to 2 hours, and that might be just the way to go off, eh?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Go like
Go
Goldie.
like Goldie.
Go like
Go like
Goldie.
Sounds good.
Now, as of the last new moon, I pretty much have committed to doing a full moon session.
All right.
So I'm willing, and so look for an invitation at next full moon. And if you want to be a presenter, or if you got something in particular you want us to discuss, let me know and we'll put it out there.
Good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this
Sounds
was
good.
excellent. Thank you.
Sounds good, Dwayne. Sounds good.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
time.
Take care.
Quentin, and let me know.
Have a wonderful new moon cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, brother.
Nice. You too, Quentin.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Quentin.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.